Hi, everybody. My name is Bart Kemps. I'm the CCO for i3.net. I've been with the company for 10 years and responsible for sales, marketing, and product management.
I'm Rick Sloot, COO of i3.net. I'm with the company now for 19 years and responsible for everything what happens within the operations team. We're here with Bart because we have some exciting news to share about a goal we set a very long time ago. I think almost 2 years ago, right, Bart?
Yep.
By reaching 1 billion users. And where are we at now?
Yeah, it sounded like a very big goal when we stated it. We even said it was, 1 billion monthly users on our platform by 2025. We knew it was achievable, but it was also very ambitious, and it definitely aligned the company towards that specific goal. But we're doing a lot better than we expected, right, Rick?
Yep. Well, what's the number? Because I think that's where the people are here for, right?
Yeah, sure. So at the moment, we're already at 840 million users, monthly active users per month, which is way ahead of schedule. How do we measure it?
Yeah, that's the fun story, because I remember we were at the offsite 2.5 years ago when we set the goal, right, of 1 billion users, and of course the goal was like very big, and we all thought like it's achievable, but it's really challenging. But I remember we just said, okay, now how are we actually gonna measure this? Because how do you measure the amount of people on your platform? And we had lengthy discussions. Right now, what we are doing, we are measuring every user which has a unique IP connecting to our backbone and also going out of our network again. So there should be a connection from both sides. That's what we call a valid user. So the 840 million is a gigantic number. It's like I think we both never thought it was already. We were at that stage today.
No, to be honest, I thought we would miss it by maybe a year or two and reach that goal 2026, 2027. But to be ahead of it, that surpassed my expectations.
Yeah, it helped, right? We had a lot of new customers coming on the platform, and I think with every game being added on our platform, it means different users which might not play that game or any other game before. Yeah. Like a new ecosystem of people connecting to our whole platform, which is great. Mostly by the efforts of your team getting these customers on board. But we try to keep up with the infrastructure on that part.
Yeah, and a lot has changed in the last 20 years, right?
Yeah, specifically the way we built, right? It's like, I think when we started, we had the Rotterdam, which was our biggest site. A lot of the EU, for example, was done from the Rotterdam area when COVID happened. And after that, we built a lot of the new sites to be closer to the end user, actually give them the latency, the low latency we are aiming for, under 30 milliseconds worldwide. That's the goal we set together, right? Mm-hmm. And the strategy. And we are well on the way with like adding more locations, having more users directly connected to our platform. And with that, like start the whole ecosystem of users being directly connected, having peering relationships, which brings the quality, but also, well, we're still here for the business, our costs lower.
Yeah.
That's, I think, it benefits from a lot of aspects of how the strategy went and all.
The games industry also has changed a lot from an infrastructure perspective. I remember back in the day when we used to be like a single vendor to a game publisher who had very specific hardware needs that we had to scale that specific machine globally. I remember back in the day when we were like with 25 employees that, we would post on social media about, hey, no one's in the office, everyone is building racks and just flying all over the world. Very glad that right nowadays it's more hardware agnostic, more flexible. You see that infrastructure management on the publisher side has also improved, where we are never actually a single vendor. right? It's always a multi-vendor strategy, which is very healthy and it gives a very balanced traffic pattern.
Yeah, for sure. So what we did is, like I said, I think one of the, again, from the strategy session, one of the things was multi-vendor, but also the fact we are more able to do the hardware agnostic model, like it helped us going faster in terms of site builds. You can imagine there's a lot of work to do. Well, I don't need to explain this, but it really helps that you have the flexibility of where to put your compute. And it also helps when having more of these locations, people can just pick 10 sites being a little bit smaller instead of 1 or 2, which are very big. It also means the blast zone is bigger, but also the building needs to be very much bigger. So yeah, having the hardware agnostic model really works on scale. I think that's one of the best strategic sets we've done.
It helps the customer because you can source multiple hardware or multiple server types, and it helps us in terms of scalability and flexibility. So win-win for both parties.
And I think everybody in my team at least loves to do this because they don't need to worry about that specific system being attached to one specific customer. No, the only thing we need to do is make sure that the game runs smoothly. There's no problem on the platform. It's stable. That's the only thing we need to care about. That's actually what we want to achieve, right? Within 30 milliseconds, low latency, and having a reliable platform.
Yeah.
So a lot of things are going on in the market, and the market is changing. I guess you see a lot of that stuff happening.
Oh yeah, definitely. There are a couple of big changes in the market that we experience since late last year, early this year. One of it being that game studios and game publishers are becoming more aware of the money spent on infrastructure. So we see that the price points of public cloud providers is challenged heavily, especially with studios that have that are using a public cloud provider as a single vendor. Now you see that they are adding bare metal to the mix, or go multi-vendor either with cloud providers and bare metal, or multiple bare metal providers.
Preferably us.
Preferably us. That would be great, of course. The economics of online infrastructure is becoming increasingly important, and that's what we also see actually on the hardware side, right?
Yeah. Well, couldn't agree more. Like we came from far, right, with just the small boxes, and we would have customers renting as much small boxes as they can to mitigate the risk of failures. Right now, when we have more POPs around the globe, but also the change of what kind of customers we are getting or where they are coming from, they are getting the bigger machines, which are more, I would say, less energy hungry. So there's a lot of efficiency we can achieve there. We can put more instances on one machine up to their standards, of course. But you would see that what previously fitted into like 4 or 5 or 8 racks is now being done in 1 or 2 with just the same amount of power, for example, which leaves our team and my team with much ease doing the deployment. Right? It saves a lot of time by putting in 500 servers versus 50 when you still have the same compute power. I think that's a very powerful thing, but you can only do this also when you have a certain scale. Right? You can't do this if it's just a few customers with a few servers. You need a lot of customers with a lot of servers, and I think we're very lucky to be in this area where we can do this at this scale. Because I also remember when we did the big deployments with a lot of thousands of small machines, because that was the best thing we could do at that moment. But it's good that the market is changing. We're getting a bigger piece of the pie, so to say, from the public cloud also. It helps us, our whole ecosystem, because let's be honest, a lot of things go about scale when you're in infrastructure.
Yeah, but that also changed with the customer, right? And I think we always pride ourselves with sourcing from the most reliable vendors. And back in the day, picking the smallest machines and having bulk of it really was to limit the risks of a server failing and player impact, etc. But showing that our failure rates on these machines are very low or very limited, and actually our vendors are doing a great job and at keeping these failures to a minimum. Gives also the trust that they can use these beefier machines. So
and saves time on operations, right? It's the less you need to touch the server, the better. I think we did one step outside of the standards we had, and it wasn't a great success. Let's be honest.
Yep.
Things also fail, but for now we are with the A brands that go from network to servers. That really helps, right? In terms of predictability, but also stability. And eventually, some of the systems can run for a long time, which is it helps us also because the less you need to test these machines, the better.
So Rick, 840 million. Where are we getting the last 160 million from and beyond?
Yeah, well, preferably beyond, of course. But if you look at our platform, like what we always did, and right, we always try to open new locations, getting closer to the end users by giving them a better experience online. That's the ultimate goal. And if you really want to look specifics, I think there are some regions where we have still something to win. You can look at Asia, but also South America, where we have some sites, but I think there's still room for expansion, including bringing our backbone there. I think that's really something we want to achieve in the next months or years to come. And to be fair, a lot of these locations we are opening are business case driven, right? It's not that we are. Sometimes we do. Sometimes we build a location because we think the business will come there.
Also extend our network there.
Or extend our network, of course. Yeah, for sure. But mostly it's business case driven. When we have customer demand, that could be indirectly, where we see a lot of connections coming from a site to another site where we see, okay, this area is a potential new hub for us. Or that could be just a customer asking for a region we never looked at before. I think we have a few examples. This is the way how we started it. I think Johannesburg, for example, was one of them, where we actually had a customer ask, and then we built it in a few months. And I think that's also the strength, that we are still agile. We can still build these locations pretty fast. And that's how we win the deals. And that's that would be something what I would see as a real goal, to keep the agility by building new sites and making sure we can provide the customer with their needs.
Well, it's a shared goal, right? That we have, because I always try to teach my team that listening to our customers is very important. It's something that is while a company is growing, it's harder to keep that listening ear with your customers. Where if you listen to your customers and you actually can cater to their needs because you listen, there is a lot to win. People tend to forget that in a world that's driven by automation and compute power, and now AI is coming in. No one is listening anymore except for computers.
I think we all know discussions that, like, when we can help the customer, right? When they want to be in a certain region, sometimes we even can point them to a region which makes more sense, or the way they are connecting the users in a different way. I think we have much examples of that. So I think these are all ingredients by expanding our platform, getting the right customers on our platform. While I'm quite sure we will get that 1 billion, like it really looked far away when we set the goal, but I think right now it feels like.
Give me a month. When do you think we'll reach it?
I would say a year, maybe. Yeah,
a year.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So September 2024.
Yeah, I think that would be well before we have set the target 2025. But I think if you look at the line right now, or like you were talking about data, well, looking at the data right now, I think we're well above where we want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only way is up. So that means continue this line and be there in a year from now, or a year and a month. Like, give me 1 month extra.
So October 2024. Okay, I'm gonna be a little bit more ambitious here.
Oh, really?
I would say February 2024.
Okay. Well, fair point. So, like, I think it's anyhow we will get there before 2025 for sure. And to be honest, I'm really proud we already are at the 840 million number. And that's not only thanks to us, but also thanks to all the customers being connected to our platform. I think
yes, thank you.
We do this for, right? It's It's not just for us. It's mainly for our customers and everybody playing on our platform. That's what we want to achieve. Having a great experience online. That's what we are standing for.
On to 1 billion and beyond.
And beyond. Fun thing is we have a lot of talks like this, right, on a strategic level, where we are setting the goals and achieving or discussing what the team should be doing, or how we are going to get to the users. But those are good talk. It's awesome to share this with the audience, and I want to thank everybody for joining us in this journey and with this talk. It's really good.
Yeah, it's not every day that we sit in front of a camera, right? So I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.